We're breaking down surveillance video of just what happened after police say a woman stole a bucket truck and led them on a chase.
A show of support today for county clerks who have decided to stop issuing marriage licenses because of their opposition to same-sex marriage.
Lexington police are continuing to investigate a motorcycle crash that killed a man.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5.
Good afternoon. That woman accused of killing her boyfriend, then leading police on a cross-country chase in a bucket truck, has faced a judge this afternoon. The judge entered a not guilty plea on Vanessa Napier's behalf. She's facing a long list of charges, including murder, wanton endangerment, and robbery. WKYT's Kristen Kennedy was inside the courtroom this afternoon when Napier made her first appearance.
Napier is facing a multitude of charges, including leading Lexington police on a chase. Video surveillance shows Vanessa Napier climbing into a man's bucket truck parked outside a gas station on 8th and Boonesboro Road and taking off. Officers say she led them on a chase that started in Fayette County, went into Richmond, and ended back in Lexington. The next day, officers went out to a home on 8th and Walnut Hill Pike for a welfare check on John Sharp, Napier's boyfriend. At that time, officers started talking to neighbors.
There were 7 police cars there, and the helicopter was flying above too. So, and the police told us that they had a missing persons and asked if I had seen the Sharp boy up there that lives there.
Jerry Williams says Sharp had lived beside him for about 2 years.
Kept to himself. He never came around, never caused any problems, never did anything that we could see as a problem. He just stayed to himself up there.
Monday afternoon, Napier appeared in court to answer to a charge of murder. Lexington police say she killed Sharp. The coroner lists multiple stab wounds as his cause of death. A judge entered a not guilty plea on Napier's behalf. Napier will be back in court July 16th in Lexington. Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
Napier's preliminary hearing will take place then on the 16th. No bond has been set on that murder charge.
We are getting a break from the rain and storms, but it won't last long. WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey is here now with more on when the wet weather will return. How about it, Chris?
Sooner rather than later, unfortunately. So we're kind of one and done with the dry conditions out there for now across central and eastern Kentucky. My advice to you, get outside and enjoy the evening. We look outside in Lexington, and today one of the warmer days we've had in a long time. We're working on 10 days in a row now of cooler than normal temperatures in Lexington. Haze in the atmosphere. Look at how green the grass is. Everything is just growing and growing and growing, courtesy of all the rain of late. It's 84 degrees into Lexington. Normal high is 86, so again, we're a little cooler than normal this afternoon, but the humidity certainly making it feel a little warmer than it actually is, though a breeze coming at us from the southwest, 12 miles an hour. Defender picking up on a whole lot of nada across central and eastern Kentucky. Nothing coming from the skies. Haven't been able to say that for a little while, though action to our east moving away from us, watching parts of St. Louis, Chicago for showers and thunderstorms, introducing a bigger line of thunderstorms back to our west to the Mississippi. Those storms are set to return to the bluegrass state for your Tuesday, and those storms will have a lot of moisture to work with. So guys, when I come back here in about 10 minutes, we're going to track the heavy rain threat back into central and eastern Kentucky with the updated hour-by-hour forecast.
All right, Chris, thank you. The debate over issuing same-sex marriage licenses headed to the state capitol today. Clerks in several counties, including Rowan and Casey, have stopped issuing licenses because of their opposition to same-sex marriage.
As our Victor Puente shows us, an organization is now standing behind those clerks, saying their rights are being violated. The story's new at 5.
The fight over same-sex marriage is continuing in some Kentucky counties. Today, the organization that helped push for Kentucky's original same-sex marriage ban said they would be helping any government employees affected by that recent ruling. County clerks in Casey and Rowan counties have said they won't be issuing marriage licenses to anyone following the Supreme Court's ruling making same-sex marriage legal across the country. Last week, the ACLU filed a lawsuit against Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis. Earlier today, the head of the Family Foundation of Kentucky announced they were starting a fund to help pay the legal defense of county clerks and other government employees. They're calling it the Kentucky Religious Liberty Defense Fund. He also called on Governor Steve Beshear to take actions to protect county and state employees' religious freedoms. He said the move wasn't an effort to get around the ruling or protect discrimination of same-sex couples.
It is, however, a sincere effort to uphold what has always made America different from all other nations, the fact that our rights come from God, and those rights cannot be abridged by any force, nor by any power, nor by any manipulation on earth.
At an event earlier today, Beshear said he believes the issue will get worked out either in the court or at the ballot box.
My feeling is that we've got a constitutional duty to follow the law, regardless of your personal beliefs. And that's tough for some people. I understand that.
The Casey County Clerk was here at the Capitol today for this event. He said he wanted to speak to Governor Beshear and offer some ideas and a possible solution. He said online marriage licenses could solve this whole issue. You'll hear from him at 6 o'clock. In Frankfort, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Governor Beshear said that when Attorney General Jack Conway declined to appeal the ruling from the lower court that ended up at the U.S. Supreme Court, it was within his duties because there is no law requiring him to appeal a ruling on behalf of the state. Now, state law requires every county have an elected county clerk. Among other duties, the state mandates that clerks handle all licensing from businesses to vehicles to marriages. Unlike other elected county officials, the state constitution does not say clerks can be charged with a crime or removed from office for neglecting to fulfill those duties. If a clerk quits or is removed from office, the judge executive appoints a replacement. Now, in a county with merged government like Lexington and Fayette County, the mayor would appoint the replacement.
We are tracking the investigation into a deadly crash. A truck and a motorcycle collided late last night on Nicholasville Road at South Point Drive. The man on the motorcycle was the one killed. As WKYT's Mark Barber shows us, people who live in that neighborhood say they're not surprised by what happened.
Neighbors tell me this is a dangerous intersection. They tell me they have seen serious and even fatal crashes here time and time again.
When I used to go out, I look 10 times before I get out of South Point here. And it's really a very bad intersection.
The latest accident at Nicholasville Road and South Point Drive happened around midnight. Officers tell us the driver of a truck that was turning off Nicholasville and onto South Point hit a motorcycle. The man on the motorcycle was killed. Officers tell us so far, charges have not been filed against the driver of the truck. We did get a chance to speak to the girlfriend of the man who died. However, she asked us to keep the conversation confidential because she says it's too painful to make a public statement right now. Dorothea Brenu lives a few doors down from where the man was killed. She says she has been wondering for years about what needs to be done to make the intersection safer.
You hear accidents all the time here. My neighbor across the street got killed right here in this intersection.
Police say they don't know if alcohol or speed were involved in the crash yet. In Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
The coroner's office will release the name of the man who was killed when they have reached all of his family members.
A man died in a crash while trying to pass another car. Our county-by-county coverage begins in Whitley County. State police say that 55-year-old Kenneth Rich lost control while trying to pass on Kentucky 204 in Whitley County last night. We're told his truck ran off the road and hit a tree. Rich died at the scene. Police say that he was wearing a seatbelt. In Clark County, a rescued horse has a new home. Crystal Justice saved the horse after hearing about it being on the loose in Bath County. It's been temporarily staying at the Kentucky Equestrian Center in Clark County. The center received hundreds of inquiries from people interested in the horse. They say that someone is taking the horse in, and they appreciate all the offers.
European Union members say it is now up to Greece to come up with a way to deal with its debt crisis after Greeks rejected the EU plan over the weekend. The country is massively in debt and needs an infusion of cash or it will run out of money. Craig Boswell shows us the problems the situation could cause here in America.
Greece has ordered all of its banks to remain closed, and there is a limit as to how much people can withdraw from ATMs.
Greeks are withdrawing about 300 million euros a day, so unless those capital controls are tightened, Greek banks will be out of cash entirely in a matter of days.
The country rejected a proposed bailout Sunday. Greece would have received $8 billion. In exchange, foreign creditors wanted steep tax hikes and cuts to pensions and public spending. Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras hopes the vote will give him more leverage to negotiate a better deal in order to keep his country in the Eurozone. EU members meet Tuesday, and the White House says the two sides need to work out a deal.
It will require both a package of financing and reforms that will allow Greece to achieve, or at least be on a path towards some debt sustainability, but also be on a path toward economic growth.
Economist Mark Weisbrot says the crisis could have a spillover effect.
The risk of a serious financial crisis in Europe is affecting financial markets now and could affect them in the future if things get worse, including in the United States.
Markets around the world fell Monday. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Washington.
The head of the International Monetary Fund says the IMF is monitoring the situation in Greece and stands ready to help if needed.
A traffic alert if you're traveling west on Interstate 64. State workers have started resurfacing work and bridge deck repairs. That project extends from the Frankfort-Lawrenceburg exit in Franklin County to just east of the Waddy exit in Shelby County. Overnight lane closures are possible. The work is scheduled to be finished by November 1st.
A scare today at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center near Washington, D.C. Someone called 911 to report hearing a single gunshot in one of the hospital buildings. People were told to shelter in place while police searched the building. While they didn't find anything, those living nearby say it's still frightening.
Very confusing. And people are paranoid, you know. A lot of things happening, and we have people who are copycats. And I hope that's all it is.
All patient care at Walter Reed was suspended for the day.
The South Carolina Senate voting today to remove the Confederate flag from State House grounds. The vote took place less than an hour ago. The call to take down the flag began after police say a man shot and killed 9 people at Emmanuel AME Church in Charleston last month. Protesters on both sides gathered outside the State House as today's debate began.
Everybody loves this oath and the flag worldwide. They love Gone with the Wind. And so it's totally artificial, this whole conflict. I call it a non-traversy.
Well, I'm 64 years old, and we've been fighting the Civil War my entire life. I well know what this flag stands for. It's division and hate, and I'm basically here to make amends for my Confederate ancestors and to join with the people of South Carolina to call for the flag to come down.
And the vote was 37-3 to allow the state to remove the flag and the flagpole where it flies as soon as it passes the House and is signed by Governor Nikki Haley. She has said she supports removing the Confederate flag.
A train derailment may be to blame for the deaths of dozens of fish. 40 to 50 dead fish were found in a creek in Maryville, Tennessee. The discovery came days after a train carrying flammable and poisonous material crashed and caught fire. Officials say they're investigating what caused the fish to die.
The fish probably were impacted very early on. There's some question really what was the impact. Was it the chlorine in the water from the treatment of cooling the cars? Was it this product? That's for the experts to figure out and tell us.
Officials say the city's well and drinking water were not contaminated.
If you love Starbucks, get ready to pay some more for your coffee starting tomorrow. As a matter of fact, the chain will raise prices on certain drinks. The increase ranges from 5 to 20 cents. For example, the price increase brings the price of a large coffee to $2.45 in most U.S. stores.